Good evening and welcome to the Rambler Sports Network. We are live in the wheelhouse for a Lake Michigan Conference matchup between the Harbor Springs Rams and the Boyne City Ramblers. And you can see right there real big, it's me alongside Bryant Fritzsche. Good to have you back with me, Aaron. Yeah, this is going to be fun. So good matchup here tonight. The story tonight, the weather outside getting a little nasty and the illnesses spreading like crazy here. So we have 4 people out for the Boyne City Ramblers here tonight. So this is going to be a depleted crew going against the Rams of Harbor Springs. Harbor Springs coming in here. It's a building year, wouldn't you say, Rich?
Yeah, the Rams are a little bit down right now, but I would say, knowing what we know about new coach John Flynn, that probably Harbor Springs is at the bottom of their trajectory, and we're looking to see the beginning of their growth spurt, so to speak, right here tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see it. And talking with Coach Calcaterra, pretty nervous with all the people getting pulled out of class and getting hit with COVID. And there you see it right there. We are not in the gym. I don't know if you knew this. I'm sure the publicity got out to everybody, but there is our normal perch, and we are not there. We are home. I am home comfortably sitting in my office. And Aaron, you are, I think, in Pottery Barn. I'm not sure, but take a look. Here we are from home remotely. This is fantastic. I didn't want to drive on the roads anyway. How about you, Fritz?
Man, the weather outside is frightful, and the roster is looking a little frightful with some missing kids, but we're cozy here at home, so to speak.
Yeah, this all worked out fantastic because, you know, the weather, the COVID, everything is hitting, and man, I don't want to be in that gym right now. I feel a lot safer here at home, and this has been kind of a 2-month thing in the making. Once we saw Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli, and talk about that text thread that we had between Calc and you and I when that first came on the air. Talk a little bit about that thread.
Well, it's interesting, you know, if you go back here 6 months or a year ago when COVID was in full bloom, and I think ESPN had to figure out a way to conduct these broadcasts and do something different, and we ended up with Peyton and Eli doing the games from their homes or wherever they were. So yeah, the night that you and Calc and I were found this beautiful Monday Night Football Manning cast, we had the text thread going, and it wasn't far into that before Calc said, "I don't know how, but we're doing that."
We're doing it. And here we are. This is. Well, let's take a look at my keys to the games here before we get rolling. With a depleted crew, Boyne City tonight has got to play their classic hard-nosed defense, and they wanted to pressure the ball a lot tonight. And this might be a little bit tougher with not a very deep bench. Wants to make them play fast, make them uncomfortable, and make sure, as always, that Boyne City executes their stuff. And every coach is going to say that. They want to make sure that they're running their stuff, they're working on stuff, they're executing efficiently on both ends of the floor. And then, as always, I think Coach Calc always wants to talk about this, and it is one of the great keys to the games, is make sure you play together. Everybody contributes. Doesn't matter who scores the most, and that has been classic Boyne City ball. You don't know if you're scouting these guys. Who do you key on? I mean, anybody can blow up in any night.
Yeah, we talked a little bit. I spoke with Coach Calc this morning for a while, and obviously this is a challenging time to scout. You obviously don't want to bring COVID back to your team. You are scouting teams that are missing players. You're scouting teams that are playing teams that are missing players. So it's a challenge, and it kind of makes it more exciting, right, to come into the gym and have a little bit more of an unknown. We're in that age where all this stuff is out on social media. You can watch teams play, and so to go into a game these days without knowing everything there is to know makes it kind of interesting to me. I like it.
Yeah,
I know Calc does.
Yeah, it's a little stressful as a coach, and you know that as well. Dealing with the youth sports right now. I mean, every weekend we have youth sports with our kids, and I'm not kidding you. It's a crapshoot going into every weekend with COVID. And there's a look at the bench. Look at that bench. I mean, this is going to be a tough one tonight. It's going to be looking like that most of the night, and this is going to be one of Coach Calc's keys to the game is how to manage those depleted players, and I'm excited to see that tonight. And we're gonna have fun here tonight. This is awesome. I'm already enjoying the fact Eden Vonner is in the truck right now, and one of the ways that we came up to communicate, because we're nowhere near the truck. They can't just run out of the truck, come into the gym. She's using a whiteboard up on her Zoom screen and writing perfectly eligible notes up there that we can actually read. And it's been working great so far. I've already got 3 or 4 notes from her, and you can see those fine, can't you, Fritsch?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're not even looking.
Well, I printed out Calc's schedule for us to remind us. Whoops, it just disappeared. Look at that.
Disappeared into the abyss.
Look, this is why I have my reading glasses on. I can't read this thing anyway. It's so small. We're going to have to wing it tonight.
We're totally winging this whole thing. And again, I'm going to say this probably 15 times tonight if I don't. That this whole thing, and we already said it earlier before we got on here, this whole thing is riding on the shoulders of Ben Harmeling, and Ben Harmeling is a master in the truck right now, and this whole thing is on him. So if there's some glitches and stuff, he's going to figure it out instantly. Calc has just got him so wired into this thing that it's beyond Calc. Now he's past him, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's going to succeed Calc, take this thing over. He's amazing.
It's interesting. On my call with Calc this morning, he mentioned Ben a number of times and the load he was going to carry tonight and the faith that he has in him to get this all done. But Randy, who most of you know, who runs RSN, is coaching the boys basketball tonight. So as he is every game day. So he's not even around. We got Ben and Roger Coates and the rest of the crew in there in the truck behind the school, making the show happen. So
yeah, there's a good look at them right there. That they are all huddled in there and doing the job.
I'm concerned about the masks, though. How are you going to snack in the truck with that mask?
Yeah,
worried about.
Eden's in there. She's got a whole aisle from the grain train, I think, sitting on that bench out there. She's just scarfing down noodles and organic chocolate and all sorts of stuff. All kind of stuff that you would like, Fritsch, right?
But
I have some cardboard you can chew on later if you want.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, let's look at that. Look at that. The Rambler squad right there. Very, very small compared to normal. And he's got some of the JVers up there just in case. This is going to be interesting to see how he works this young group here tonight.
Yeah, I was trying to get a count on who they had out there. It looked like that group was a little larger, so they were supposed to have 7 or 8 tonight. And he's got, do you know who he has up from the JV by chance?
He's got most of those guys in the red shirts are JV players that are there, I'm sure, just in case.
Well, that's cool. That's exciting for them. I know look like Harbor's got 9 guys, so
yeah.
Nobody's got too much of an advantage tonight from the length of their bench, anyway.
Yeah, that's an honor to be on there. National anthem.
Are you're gonna sing this?
I might. I think I should stand. The athletes in the University of Conference would like to show the support and commitment to sportsmanship. We understand this can include respect and responsibility over the spring. It is citizenship in action. We ask you as parents, fans, and officials to join us in making this a positive experience for all involved. Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise as we honor America in our national anthem. All right, we're back at it here. That was tough to do. I'm glad that you took your hat off. I was a little offended there.
Well, seeing as how we couldn't hear when the music, we couldn't hear the national anthem, so that was felt like a long song there that time, and I was a little delayed.
Yeah. Blame it on the Zoom delay. I think that's going to be the kind of the catch-all tonight. Look at the
great shot of the.
That was from the ceiling cam there.
That was cool. I wonder what else is up there.
Yeah, I think that was the janitor cam. They can see when they need to dust and change light bulbs and stuff.
Wonderful. Is that a drone shot? They got a drone in there?
Might have been a drone that just got stuck up in the lights. I think that's what that was.
Who's flying that thing anyway?
I think Harmley's flying that as well. He's doing everything else tonight.
Yeah, so this is an interesting experience. Like you pointed out at the beginning, we usually are standing right there, just behind, almost behind the bench, watching the games from courtside. So this is interesting. We're experiencing this through all the camera angles. I know Calc's got cameras duct taped up all over that gym, in the ceiling, above the lights, behind the backboard. So yeah, this is interesting.
Well, tonight the Ramblers are without Will Brown, Connor Rakovich, Mason Wilcox, and Gavin Hewitt. So some key players out for them. But this is a chance for a lot of those kids that don't get a lot of minutes in the rotation to prove themselves here tonight against Harbor Springs. And this is going to be a good experience for them. I'm excited to see. Well, go ahead.
Excuse me. It's always interesting when you are missing players and other guys have to stand up, step up, and a lot of times you find you get good experience. You find guys that can get it done in the game. You've heard that in the NFL a lot this year. The whole next man up philosophy, right? Hey, we still have to play a game and we still want to win. So it's a great opportunity, really, for those other players.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see them getting a lot of time, and I'm excited to see kids like Mason Wilson who works his tail off in practice and just loves being a part of this team, to get in there and get a lot of minutes and work on his skills. I mean, you see Boyne City won the tip and got a quick bucket there by Alex Calcaterra, who's just been on fire this year. Oh, there's a great inbounds play. Look at that. You got to protect the middle, right? You know they're going to the rim. You got to protect the middle.
He was scary wide open in the middle, that's for sure.
Well, just like that, AB, man.
Gets erased.
Well, we talk about that in youth ball. You know they're going to the rim on those out of bounds plays. You gotta protect the rim. If you don't know where you're going, just stand in the paint, right?
Pack paint for sure. Yeah, we're just working on that with the 6th grade boys right now. Man, you don't let somebody come through your house there without giving them a bump, right?
Exactly.
You can't let guys in there.
Take a look at this. Oh my God.
Giving us some credibility there. Looked like we played basketball once.
Oh my gosh, those are some fun activity days right there. And we brought out the Ben Wallace wigs, and oh my gosh.
Is that Colin Kaepernick? Who is that? I thought that was you when I remembered it, but it doesn't.
Oh yeah, that's Colin Kaepernick. That's right. You used to give me crap about that. I don't know what that was on my face as well. Was that a wig as well on my face?
Well, it must have been a while ago, because I'm sure it's not black anymore.
It's not black anymore. It's gray. So I used to love to grow that. But
what a great video. Yeah, that must have been an activity day, huh?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Your staff and staff student basketball game or something.
Yeah. Well, Harbor Springs under Coach Flynn. Tell us a little bit about Coach Flynn and what you know about Coach Flynn.
Well, he's obviously been a very successful basketball player. He's done some coaching. He was at Petoskey last. Certainly has experience at all different levels. He's seen all kinds of offenses, defenses, players. He's seen it all. So it's interesting to me that he's moved to Harbor Springs to take on this challenge, but you got to give him some credit for that. He went from Petoskey, that's had a perennial power program on the hardwood, and Harbor Springs, who's, we were talking about this morning, but Harbor Springs 10, 15 years ago had some great teams as well. So it's not like they've been a doormat. They just are down a little bit right now, and this is I'm really fascinated to see what comes of this match between Flynn and the Harbor boys.
Yeah, and his wife is coaching the girls, correct? And she's got them rolling right now as well.
I believe that's correct. So, yeah, kind of a family gig over there in Harbor Springs, and I like to see that some more depth added to the league, the Lake Effect Conference, as we call it. So it's going to be exciting, and it takes a long time to build a program. If you want the little kids to start doing things the way your varsity kids are, then you got a 6-8 year plan to get those kids versed in what you want things to look like on the court before they get up to the varsity level. And the teams that have those kinds of programs in place they're growing those kids in the image they want for years. So to step into a program like Coach Flynn's doing it's a challenge to get things up to speed. We always want it done right away, but that's tough, tall order.
Yeah, and he is up for the challenge, and I'm telling you right now, from the 6th grade, I've been watching these guys 5th, 6th grade. Harbor's putting together a good youth program, and they're going to be coming on strong here in the next few years. We're playing them every weekend in the youth, and they have a solid team. They got a good, solid point guard. I think Steve Bartel, the assistant coach, I think it's his kid is a 6th grader, and he's going to be very, very good. So they got some talent coming. It's going to be, like you said, this conference always crazy, but now with some other rejuvenation in other spots, this is going to be even crazier in the Lake Michigan Conference.
Yeah, that was an interesting possession there. We saw, I think Boyne had 2 offensive rebounds. Is that Scotty Haley there finally with the putback to end that possession? But it's a good sign for the Ramblers are rebounding the way they are so far.
Yeah, and the one thing I'm interested about, there's another charge there. Good job. Jacob Johnson took one earlier. I think was that Alex or Jacob took that one. But the one thing that I'm curious to see is once we start going into the bench and the timing and the rhythm with some of those guys that don't get in there as much, and how the offense fires with them.
Yeah, it's just kind of it'll be interesting. You never know what you're going to get, and it's a good chance for these kids to show what they can do and play on the big stage. You mentioned too the lack of people in the crowd in the stands tonight. I don't know if that helps or hurts Boyne. If you got a bunch of new players in there, the JV players coming up, stepping on the floor, maybe that's kind of keeps the lights down a little bit, so to speak.
Yeah. You see Chad Stonick in there, sophomore coming in here. Here's a video that we got here of you wakeboarding. Now look at. I've watched kids do chemistry problems in my class for 20 years, and they still have a smile on their face. You're out there wakeboarding. What are you like? Is this involuntary wakeboarding? Were you okay doing this, or were you forced to do this? Are you not having fun, or what?
I don't think I can do that. That must have been photoshopped. Is that really me? I think I did it once, and I didn't recognize that there was a camera anywhere nearby. That's those are water sports. You're concentrating way too hard. Have some fun, will you? Jeez. That was in Calc's fancy new wake boat, and I told him I just don't understand that boat. I mean, it's pretty and all, but where are the rod holders on that? Where's the trolling motor? What is the point?
Yeah, I don't think it's our kind of boat. He'd rather troll from the wakeboard, I guess. I don't know how he fishes on that thing, but it seems like a waste of a boat. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of goofy looking.
Yeah, if you're not fishing, ooh, nice take there. Right.
What's going on down there?
Yeah, right over Alex. Alex had a hard time getting up there, but that was a good take. Good take. Harbor Springs clawing their way back into it here. See Chaz
kind of a slow start offensively for both teams. Little sloppy play right here, huh?
Well, what I'm seeing Harbor do real well is they're clogging that paint for guys like Scotty Haley and for Alex Calcaterra that want to get to the rim. And it's just become a scrum, right? A rugby scrum down in there, and they're coming out on top.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. In the last few years, Boyne's had a lot of great football players in there too that aren't afraid of that scrum, the rugby scrum, or the physical play under the basket. So I don't know if that's a real issue for Boyne, but does look like it's going to be a physical game.
Yeah, and I think if I was scouting Boyne City, that's what I'd be doing. Last game against Grayling, there's a good steal there by Alex. Grayling came out very physical, big, strong football/basketball team, and it kind of socked Boyne in the mouth right away, and Boyne had to wake up, come back in that second quarter, and start to play their game. But they got punched in the mouth a little bit, and I talking to the Grayling coach later that weekend, thought good game plan, bump them up a little bit. Now here's another one of Roger Coates doing this. Well, he looks like he's having fun a little bit. He's smiling a little bit. I mean, this is how it's done, Fritzsche.
Well, he must be in better shape than I am, because I was struggling just to stand up. That's why I didn't look like I was having any fun, because I wasn't.
You got all new replaced knees and all that kind of stuff, but he looks like he's a little bit more at home on the water, so to speak.
Well, we don't have the sound for some reason, but if you could hear the sound from that Coates surfing video, there was some very, very loud Def Leppard going on across Lake Charlevoix. Very loud.
Nothing says skiing than Def Leppard, right?
I think the speakers power that boat, actually. Or at least create the wake, so...
Yeah, and I've noticed the Ramble Rowdy's a little depleted today. They're doing a dressed up night, all formal, and not looking as bountiful as they normally look. And their Harbor just took the lead with that bucket right there, or that three, or that was a two, but they took the lead.
Yeah, so you can see Harbor in that what's it called, 1-2-2 there, and I don't know if their goal is to force Boyne to shoot outside right now, or if they're just trying to do things.
You got Fila in there, and Fila just took a shot right there, and that's I think with their game plan. Get some of these younger guys in there to shoot a little bit until they start making them.
They just took the lead and then come down and have a walk 30 feet from the basket. That one kind of hurts.
Coach Flynn, I'm sure, real happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
Get something going here, and then the easy turnover. But yeah, you can see Jacob Johnson, Chaz Stonick in there trying to just post up and find those gaps and seal their guy. Jack Neer for three.
And that's really the shot you want against a 1-2-2, right? Those corners can be a little bit difficult to cover, so that's oftentimes an open shot. But.
And I don't know what was going on there. Why was Boyne City not getting back? There was a clear pass all the way down for Harbor Springs, and Boyne City was hanging out, huddling at the half-court line. What was going on?
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Flynn, I'm telling whoever that was under the basket, you got to put that ball up on the backboard.
Yeah, he's got to attack that.
Oh, that one.
That was Fila again. He got a nice shot, and he's been working hard in practice, and it's good to see him getting lots of minutes in there. Well, I'm excited for the rest of the game here. We have two guests coming in tonight that I've been dying to talk to on these broadcasts forever, and Harrison Beebe and Drew Kahaney. And I'm excited. We're going to get Harrison here in the second quarter, and can't wait to pick his brain and see what's going on and around this northern Michigan and in the conference. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because those guys are really plugged into the northern Michigan basketball scene and sports scene, and so some of these questions we've had coming up while we're preparing for these games, hopefully we'll get some insight from those guys who see a lot of players, a lot of games every week. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that was the end of the quarter right there, and so you can see they went to the depleted bench a lot there, but Harbor Springs leading right now with a 1-point lead, and this is not what we expected, but good for Harbor right now, hanging in there tough. Here's a good commercial. First thing, I mean, the many hairstyles of Aaron Fritzsche. I mean, this was one of my favorites. The ball here.
Look at you. You got a sweater vest on. I mean, who wears a sweater vest? Really?
Hey, so do you. What are you talking about? Come on.
Oh, sorry.
I'm a little upset. This commercial, I thought this was one of the greatest commercials ever. And I still think I should have said, hey, what are you doing? Instead of just saying, hey, I should have said, hey, what are you doing? And then we could have went in, hey, you're late on your fault line. And I kick myself every time. But I think we're going to welcome in Harrison Beebe right now when we get a chance. Oh, wait, might have another odd photo here.
Oh, yeah, the Rubicon.
Oh, the Rubicon Atlas, yeah.
There was a sandwich. There was a sandwich at the deli called Rubicon something, and we were working on the Atlas curriculum mapping and all that jazz at that time.
Yeah, that was Rubicon Atlas was our curriculum mapping at the time, and we were making fun of it. And nobody knew except for all the teachers. So that was an inside joke. Now you know the inside scoop. I don't know what happened to Rubicon Atlas. Somebody made a bunch of money, and it just went away. So
just disappeared, evaporated. Yeah. Yep, no doubt. Well, that guy doesn't have any hair either.
Yeah. Well, we're back here, and now you'll see joining us Harrison Beebe from 7 and 4. And Harrison, welcome to the weirdest broadcast that you've ever been a part of.
The weirdest, but the best. I mean, let's embrace the positive here, guys. Yes, it's unorthodox, but I mean, it's as I was talking to the guys last week when we were previewing this could be the new wave of journalism going forward with podcasting and just, watching highlights later, kind of dialing in a game at your own speed, at your own pace. Like, this could be, in 20, 30 years, this could be how we see sports being presented. So we might as well, just like RSN is ahead of everybody else, might as well be ahead of the game here.
Yeah. What was your take on the Manning cast, Eli and Peyton? Have you watched that at all?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm more still in my sense. I won't act like I watch the Manning cast every Monday night, but I've definitely tuned into it. I wanted to see The Rock do it last night as well, because The Rock competed against his friends at the WWE on Monday Night Raw, so that was kind of interesting as well. But yeah, the amount of guests they bring in, and you guys were talking earlier, I think off camera, about how Snoop Dogg did it one week. And it's like, you're not going to get much football talk out of Snoop Dogg, but in a way, this is the new era of sports where they're bringing in people who maybe do, maybe don't know what they're talking about. I guess your audience will decide at the end of the quarter here if I was worthy of being the first guest here for the show tonight. But
hey, you showed up. You're worthy. We'll take you.
Right. I made it through the tip-off delay. I'm still here.
That's right. And remember who you're getting compared to. You're going to look like a rock star here tonight. So I have a question for you. What is your take when you first experienced RSN and what Boyne City's got going here? Just what was your first impression and watching this over the years? Kind of what is your take on the whole thing, the whole process?
Well, obviously, I've been at plenty of games there, and I've seen the setup, especially football. It's cool how you got that giant truck out there. I'm assuming maybe the truck's still on the football field right now, for all I know. Doing the behind-the-scenes stuff, which is really the most impressive thing that you guys do. You see there's some of the cameramen and women on the sidelines. The little things that these students are gaining as far as knowledge for the broadcast journalism field, I didn't have anything like that when I was in high school at Traverse City Central. They're doing stuff that I was doing in college, so they're already 4 years ahead of where I was at when I was going through the broadcasting school system. And shout out Dominic Santina. I interviewed him about 7 or 8 years ago. He's one of your Rambler alums, and he came down to the studio to do a feature with us and kind of tell us a little about how RSN works and how it's really getting started on the ground floor that year. And it's just amazing to see what you guys have accomplished since. And this is a new level of awesomeness that we're looking at right now, broadcasting a game while Zooming and chatting with each other. So it's amazing to see what you guys have really developed, and I can't wait to see how it gets even bigger and better.
Yeah, and again, we wanted to make sure that we get spoiled here. We sit around, we watch these kids do these amazing things, and it becomes so status quo around here. I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard from an outsider that they're doing fantastic things in high school.
Right. I keep asking to be a teacher for the class. They keep denying it. don't know what kind of credentials I need to get into the Boyne City school system.
You just have to be tall. That's
yeah.
You guys look pretty good in that commercial. I don't know if I could rock a sweater vest and be as tall as that, but I maybe would be the skier that would go down the steps. I maybe with the helmet on would attempt.
Everybody's got to roll.
You're qualified for my job. I just don't know about Calc's job. You're not tall enough for that one.
Yeah. Well, I'll just wear those upper shoes, whatever I got to do to pass the height. That's why I got cut from 7th grade basketball. I was too short back in middle school to make the team. So this is the closest I get to competitive hoops.
So Harrison, how did you make that transition from getting cut from the 7th grade basketball team to being the sports guy now?
Right? I mean, it's kind of weird. Growing up, I won't lie about this either. I wasn't really an avid. I played sports, but I was never really a big sports watcher. It wasn't until high school I started really getting into football. Somehow the Lions were my first favorite team. I still don't understand how that translates, but everything just kind of rolled over. A couple great college football seasons. And then I really got into basketball when the Pistons won that NBA championship in 2004, so that always helped. Obviously, seeing your home state team bring home the championship, and then it just rolled in every sport. Every season, I tried to get a little more knowledge of it, and by the time I got to college, I was like, this is what I want to do. I knew I wanted to do something, exciting and live and influential in the real world. And my dream job as a kid was to be an actor, and once I realized going out to Hollywood and wasting all my money doing toothpaste commercials wasn't going to work out, I figured, okay, maybe TV news is the next best thing, and sports is the best thing in TV news, because the most depressing thing I usually say every night is that a team lost. So if that's the worst thing I got to do, I mean, that happens every night, no matter what. So if that's part of the routine of the job, that sounded A-okay to me. And it's still fun to wake up and know I get to do this every single day.
I tell you what, Harrison, I try not to watch the news, just from what you just said, because
hopefully not because of me.
It's because the news is so depressing, right? Like you said, it's always that stuff kind of sells, and but I thoroughly enjoy watching you come on because of your energy. And I'm sitting there and I tell my wife we're watching you, and I'm sitting there going, this guy needs a half-hour show. The energy that you're trying to pack into your little the 5-minute segment or whatever you have. You're just bursting at the seams. And so I want to know, are you feeling that same way? And if you did have a half-hour show, what would you name it, and how would that show run?
So you're saying like my own sports center, like how SVP has a sports center?
Yeah, I want to know how would you set it up? Because I'm gonna pull some strings here, see if we can get you your own show.
Right. Well, I mean, if I could get enough shooters on a given night to shoot all these games, like this is obviously a great matchup in the Lake Michigan Conference. I mean, side trail a little bit, you guys have the best conference, I think, in Northern Michigan as far as games every night, competitive teams on the floor every night. I know St. Francis and Charlevoix have kind of had a stamp on the league as far as the championship is concerned the past few years, but it seems like between Elk Rapids, Boyne City, Grayling, Harbor Springs, Charlevoix, even East Jordan's had some competitive teams these past few years. It's a fun league to watch. So if I had a way to get all of these highlights on one half-hour show, I mean, obviously, Hometown Highlights is our Friday show, so maybe we'd expand it, Up North Live, Hometown Highlights with Harrison Beebe. But that's too many. I think that's too many H's.
No, I like it.
Get in trouble with the acronym departments. I don't know. It's a tough one. The one question I get a lot too is like, why don't you have a catchphrase? You should have more. That's like the thing in sports. And the more I thought about it, it's like, yeah, I don't really have a catchphrase, but we're used to seeing catchphrases from like 30, 40 years ago. That was like the deal in news in the 70s and 80s and maybe the 90s. Like, nobody else really has that go-to catchphrase except for maybe the announcers who do like Sunday Night Football. Like, you are looking live, or, another exciting night of NBA basketball. George Blaha obviously has got him, all over the place, the Pistons broadcaster. But, I think I'm a little bit different era than George, even though I respect everything he's done for the industry.
Yeah, I think why don't you try some out here tonight? Why don't you start working on some of the catchphrases, maybe, call a little bit of the game and maybe work on some of those catchphrases.
I thought about it before I got into broadcasting in the NBA, and I guess in your case, because that Boyne logo is so big, whenever they hit those deep threes, I'd like to dub those building logo deep. Because, I mean, that just shows how far that's the 4-point play without being the 4-point play. If he shoots it from the B there, that's a nice 30-plus footer probably on the tape measure.
Yeah.
So I tried to get building logo deep going. I tried to do some nicknames early on. One of my go-to gimmicks in broadcasting was I'd hear a last name and I'd say no relation to so-and-so. I remember there being a kid named Underwood, and I'd say no relation to Carrie Underwood. There was one time during a Glen Lake game, I called a kid named Ian Duvall. I was like, layup by Ian Duvall, no relation to Robert Duvall, the famous actor. And somebody called during the commercial break and told Mark Shillette, our main anchor, actually, that's Robert's nephew. Ian is in Robert's direct family. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that one gimmick of my early go-tos, just referencing celebrity names, actually blew up in my face that night. But
now you're scared. Now you're scared to do that anymore.
Right? Yeah. It's like I don't want to offend anybody else, and I'm sure nobody was offended.
I tell you what,
frankly, I think that's amazing that I drew a color in to explain that Robert Duvall has a nephew that lives in northern Michigan, or did back in 2013 or 14, whenever that was.
I think maybe you change the catchphrase to possible. Possible.
Oh, yeah. Could be.
Yeah, could be.
Waiting for an official genealogy test on it.
That's right.
But yeah, it looks like the Ramblers are doing some good work here after a back and forth first quarter. Looks like they've got a steady 3-possession lead right now, and they're hungry for those loose balls there. I mean, yeah, this is really a cool way to do a broadcast where we can kind of, talk about what's going on in the sports world, but at the same time take a look at a competitive Tuesday night basketball game. Tuesday nights are just like Friday nights for me. These are the busiest 2 nights of the week for basketball, so got a ton of marquee games.
You were telling us earlier before we got on about you got to get over to TC West, TC Central, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'll be going to that one. The girls' game was earlier, and TC West won that game by 10, 43-33. And luckily for me, the Central game, the Central West boys' game, is going to start about at the same time as this one. So after I'm wrapping up with you guys, I'll head on over there and cover that one. But the other one I'm looking at, too, shout out to James Cook at the Traverse City Record Eagle. He's at the Elk Rapids St. Francis boys game right now.
Ooh, that's good.
And I know there's a lot of people in Boyne City that want to be in. Maybe Harbor Springs who are watching this one, scoreboard watch. Last check, he's updated 9-7 St. Francis after the first quarter. So,
yeah, that's gonna be a good one. I would be very interested to see how that turns out. But and so when you're going to these games and you're putting together a package, what are you looking for? What are you you're trying to tell a story, with a 30-second segment kind of thing, right?
It depends on the game. So, for instance, on a Friday night when I'm running around getting 4 or 5 games myself, people may notice I'm in there for about 5-10 minutes. I get the buckets I need to represent a team, and then I'm out of there. It's not a matter of picking and choosing. It's like, okay, good, got that, let's go. Sometimes, unfortunately, football's like that as well. But for nights where I only go to 1 or 2 games, last night I went to Benzie, Central, and Buckley. Those are the 2 of the best teams in the Northwest Conference to start the year. And I basically camped out there and tried to see what I could get. And unfortunately for Buckley, it was Benzie's quarter in the third when I was there, and they were kind of controlling pace. But that kind of tells the story of the game as well. If it was an even game at that point, and then Benzie pulls away, kind of like Boyne City's doing right now here in the second quarter, it really is kind of the story of the game as far as the momentum shifting. Obviously, basketball is a game of runs, so you never really know for sure until a team's up by a lot. But you learn a lot in certain quarters about who's going to step up and take on that round of basketball. And those are the teams that are usually getting the wins, moving up the standings, and the teams to watch come March. So, and hard to believe, we're going to blink, and in a couple of weeks, we're going to start those state tournaments. And I love watching basketball every night. Basketball is my favorite sport to play and watch. But I tell you, we get to postseason basketball. That's where it's really, like which one of these teams knows in the win or go home scenario that they're going to do everything they can to get that win in advance. I think of the Boyne City team from 2015 that made it all the way to the Breslin Center with who was that? Corey Redmond, right? Yeah, that was Redmond's senior year, I think. So. And you could argue, if you guys remember that game, it came down to the wire, and there was a controversial foul call, I think, and the Boyne City could have easily been in the state finals that year. So
I don't remember that, Harrison.
I'm sorry. Did we block that out? My bad.
We Fritzsche and I talk about that. That was one of the greatest moments ever in Boyne City history, and the fact that we got courtside seats as broadcasters. We're not even broadcasters, but we got courtside seats. They're giving us all the stats. It was a great moment for us as well. But that was a special moment. Special. You're doing great, Harrison. One thing I want to ask you now. I heard you say you like to play basketball. What's your number one move, your go-to move in basketball? If you and I were to play right now, I have a scouting report on you.
Well, usually I'll attempt the jump shots early on, and if they aren't falling, then I just give up for the afternoon. So at that point, I'm just going to try. I'm going to see how close you are on me playing defense. I'll try and fake you out with the left because everybody thinks nobody's going to go left.
Right.
But then if that fails, then I'm just going to pop it from building logo deep, hope it goes in, and if not, then I turn into the assist man the rest of the game.
There you go.
And that's fine with me. And defense. I'll hone in on defense. But I did roll my ankle once playing pickup ball in college, and I was on crutches for 2 months. So I don't know if I have the same defensive prowess as I did when I was a younger lad. But
okay,
I'll tell you,
the only shot you're going to need playing against Andy is a free throw because he's a hack.
there we go. And in that case, I'll just work on my free throw. I'll Rick Barry him up there if I have to, and we'll make it happen.
You're making kids Google stuff now, Rick Barry. I mean, all right.
I had to Google Rick Barry. I didn't watch Rick Barry growing up.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But
I watched John and Brent Barry.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's the end of the second quarter, and we want to make sure you get over to that TC West Central game. We loved having you, man. We'd love for you to do this again. You're always welcome. You're always welcome to come into the truck and hang out with us and give those kids some expertise. They would love to have you talking behind the scenes with them. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. This has been great. Thank you guys for having me, and for sure, next time you do it, I'm there.
The crucial part to make this sports show work is to find just the right person to host. So we thought we'd host auditions for that process to see what kind of talent we have. Use the derivative, we're able to determine the summation of girls soccer.
How are you doing today?
Can one of these guys start?
RSN auditions take 48.
There's Ivy with his French horn. Told you.
Hey, speaking of Colin Kaepernick, look at John.
Hang on a second. Hang on. What is that, silk? Is that silk?
Auditions take 26.
Auditions, that's what I'm here for. Survivor auditions, right? That's what these are?
If you take in consideration your initial velocity,
You can't wear shirts like this. They never have that many clothes on, so you just gotta go left. You gotta go left.
tree pose.
Can you get fast breaks out of it?
So what does this have to do with football? What color is that? Is that fuchsia? Okay.
I am so ready. They're so ready for me on that show. I want to go. It'll be so much fun. Don't you think I could do it?
Maybe in the next group of 100, we'll actually find something we can use.
RSN auditions take 106.
Hang on, hold it. Makeup. Come on. Move in front. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Right here.
Taking it again, 107.
Perfect.
So as we all know, Jay and Tanner constantly holding hands in the hallway, at lunch, during classes. Both wear number 10, both captains of their basketball teams. The question was, how does that work when they practice?
All right, here we go. 2-line chest passes. Hands, feet, and eyes on every catch. Go. Hop to it. That's it. Snap the ball. Good. Good. Nice job. Nice. Nice job. Eyes up, Jen. Eyes up. Go crossover. First group. Go. Good. That's it. That's it. Good. Hands up, butts down, and slide. And back. Chop. Lock it up. Back in the stance. Back in the stance. Good. Slide. And back. Charge. Good. Back in the stance. And good.
Somebody else to be doing it, right?
Coach Hills. Hey, I don't like this formation. I don't like the formation. Wait, I've seen it before. Yep. It's not good, Dave. It's not good.
Corey, hurry up. Alert. Let's go blue, deuce, pinch. Scat, Liz 39, lightning.
Coach, lightning?
Lightning. Ready up.
All right, we're checking to alert, blue, deuce, pinch, scat, Liz 39, lightning.
Finally.
Ready?
Nice job, Coach. How did you see that?
Coming, I never saw it.
Coach Hills, 6 daughters. You tend to pick things up after a while.
Coach, I'm gonna need a copy of that.
Yeah, me too.
And finally, it is in fact Tuesday, and you all know what that means. It is time to go over Article 7B, Subclause 21, Amendment F in the BCHS Handbook, Dress Code.
Okay, you know the drill, guys. Dress code check. Everybody up. Okay. Kind of pushed it a little bit. To the office now!
Dress code, Pam?
Blatant. Not more than 2 fingers, not below the fingertips, and way too much of this.
Let's have a look. I don't see a problem with it. That way.
Welcome back to the Rambler Sports Network and your live via the couch feed of boys basketball here at RSN. And Fritzsche, we were just laughing about our production notes, and I know you guys don't think we have production notes, but we do have production notes that were clearly printed out by Calcaterra and the crew for us to have here at home, and you can't really see them at all.
Neither can I can't even read them. They're
very small.
4.5 font.
And the funny thing is, we were looking at third quarter, you and I talking at halftime there on our break and saying, okay, what do we got coming back here in third quarter? And it just says shtick, over and over again.
And then make fun of this and make fun of that. Isn't that what we do?
That's Randy's way of saying, you guys just do whatever you do. I mean, I don't know why he writes that down, but anyway, we got to look. Hey,
freedom today.
We got to look at Johnny's numbers here at the half. Take a look at wow, field goal percentage jumps out like crazy there, 63% to 36%. 3-point percentage again in favor. So pretty much all the way down the board except for turnovers. Turnovers is about equal, but so Boyne City starting to run away with it here, 31-16, and kind of expected that here. Just took them a little bit of few minutes to get the rust off, and they started firing on all cylinders. So
yeah, it'll be interesting in a game like this. You know, we talked about missing players, new coaches, all this COVID stuff that's messed with scouting the last month or so. But it'll be really interesting to see what happens the second half here. If Boyne's able to continue pulling away, if Harbor makes some changes, where this game goes. I'm curious to see.
Yeah, and again, you have 2 very good coaches going at it. It's going to be a tactical battle, and then it all still comes down to who you have, and both teams being depleted, and Harbor in a building year. It's just Boyne City's going to slowly pull away here, I would guess, here in the second half. But more importantly, this new style that we got going is going so far, going off without a hitch. And again, you got to thank Ben Harmeline and all the people in the truck right there for making this possible. I thought we'd have a lot more, technical issues, especially with you and I connected to it somehow with the computer. And so far, they've made it very easy for
you should remember
like us to be able to run this from home, right? I mean, I'm sitting in my slippers and sweatpants, and this has been the greatest broadcast we've had in a while.
Andy, my friend, you need to remember that we do have the easiest jobs on this whole broadcast team.
I know it, but they somehow made it easier for guys like us to just stay home and do this from the comfort of our own home. So it's fantastic.
That's true. And that I think that probably most people don't recognize how much time Calc puts into this. He's coaching basketball and teaching, full time. But man, the hours he has into making this particular broadcast happen, and I know Ben Harmeling's got many, many hours in, but just huge amount of effort and time on behalf of those guys to make this happen. So well done.
Yeah, and I just, for being around him for my whole career here at Boyne City, what a great guy to be around, because the guy has, goals and dreams just like all of us, but man, he gets a lot of them done. Goes at it, tries to, do it, whatever he's got to do. He gets kids behind him, he gets people behind him, and some of the adventures that we've been on with him, just and some of his projects, have been fantastic. So this has been great, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I mean, we can now get more guests in, and maybe that's what the tweets should be coming in. I mean, tweet us in who you think should be on as guests if we do this format from now on.
That's a great idea.
Great. We got Drew Kohaney. I mean, this is great. Who else would you want to see?
And we also had some great tweets there. We had one from Johnny Bush, probably sitting in his ice shanty watching the game. I didn't even know you knew how to Twitter. What is it?
Tweet something. I don't know.
Tweet. And Pat Klooster's out there, so at least we got 2 viewers. That's a great sign.
Yeah, we got 2 viewers so far, so this is good. As long as we got 2. Well, Boyne City only added 1 bucket here in the second half, but this has been. There's Scotty Haley, big Scotty Haley, doing a great job. The house, I call him.
Yeah, he's a big boy here. He's pretty mobile too. Fun kid to watch. Very physical.
I love it when the boys basketball team dresses up on game days in school. A lot of them wear full suits. Scotty Haley wears a full suit, and he looks gigantic in his suit. You know what I mean? It just
makes his shoulders look even bigger.
It does. It's just amazing.
You get a suit like that.
We got a transition coming here. I don't know what this is. Oh. Hey, look at that.
Speaking of transition, Cheney, hey, you remember this day?
I remember that day. That is out at Brubaker's place.
I believe this was a snow day, and we packed the boys in your truck, and we drove down there and invaded Brubaker Beach. Yep. And the 2 funny parts is, when we stopped at the gas station, we filled the whole back seat full of junk food for the kids, right? But we hadn't been on the ice for an hour, and Brubaker walks out. Remember this?
Yeah.
Plates full of breakfast, man. Eggs, sausages.
And then he went back in the house. He just ran back in the house. He came out, delivered breakfast, and then he went back in his house.
We still talk about that.
He came back out about an hour later with cookies.
Yeah, and then an hour after that, when we got in the car, we apparently hadn't been monitoring exactly what Ames was eating while we were out there on the ice, and I think he puked all the way home.
That's right.
It was not or something.
The first half of the day was really exciting for Ames, and the second half, not so much. Just what happens when you eat 45 cookies.
Holy moly.
That right there, that first video is, I think, Randy's first impression of me when he first came to Boyne, and it was one of the first activity days.
And you were teaching in a muscle shirt, right? You said that
was one of his commercials, one of his gigs right there. That one, that was a girl had wanted to do a skit and secretly made me learn the dance move. Didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell Chris Ames. I didn't tell Randy. I didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew I was going to do this. So we're practicing after school for like a week straight before activity day. And then she pulls me out of the crowd, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do it, right? I'm arguing. Everybody thinks that it's real. And once we got out on the gym floor, we just busted out into this dance moves, and everybody just went crazy because it looked like I knew the move or whatever. But we had practiced for a long time. And so Randy didn't even know me that well. And he's just filming the whole day or whatever, and he sees this skinny idiot out there doing dance moves, and he figured
I'm glad I didn't have
to put him on camera for a lot.
I'm sort of disappointed I had to see it here a minute ago, but the scary thing about all this stuff we've done with Randy is that it's usually got a camera. And I don't remember signing a waiver that limits when he can bring those videos back. It's kind of scary. You never know when they're going to pop up like that.
Yeah, everything is fair game for Randy there. But
speaking of Randy, we have Roger. When you get a chance, I think we got a picture, a photo of Calc sitting at his desk last week, preparing for the broadcast, sitting in his office, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There he is. That's where he does his best thinking, right?
And we have got to explain this picture, right? I mean, this is where we go fishing every year. The Bryants go fishing over in Hillman every year, and Fritzsche, you've been there many times. Calcs have been there many times, and this is, if you go into the lodge. Main lodge has a restaurant.
Jack's Landing, yes.
Jack's Landing, and if you go to the bathroom in the lodge, that is the size of the toilet, and the wall is right there. And so, man, all the Calcaterras, Pete, Alex, we've got pictures. My kids, me, you, we've all got pictures
with the kids. So
facing the wall because it's so close. But
we make this yearly pilgrimage there into the restroom, marching all of us dudes into the restaurant. Into the back corner of the place to snap pictures in the restroom, and we do that every year and get pictures of the kids growing up on the pot there. But if you're ever in Hillman, check out Jack's Landing, take your fishing rod, and do not fail to miss the restroom.
Yeah, it's some good fishing, some good eats, and we've had lots of funny stories there, and most of them aren't by catching fish. But
and speaking of fishing. One of our favorite games in the fishing boat is cross between, right? I was thinking, since we're talking about Randy, we should play this with the audience. Maybe they can help us out, but I can go first here if you want.
Yeah, this is kind of a fun game to pass the time that we always do. We just get giggling on the fishing boat or long car rides, and you're gonna share this with the world, I see.
Yeah, well, I think.
I have to have a disclaimer here that. Fritz, you are the all-time best at this, and you just get me giggling. And I'm not so good at it, but man, you make me laugh real hard.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, the idea is to take people that you know or anybody that you come across and say, well, that person they look like a cross between so and so and so and so. So if you want, you can do me first if you want. So
yeah, we could start with that.
What is this? This is one.
There's a wrench in this, folks. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that is a great photo. Holy cow! That's from Newsies, isn't it?
It was. I wonder. That must not have been a double XL helmet strap. Jeez.
Oh, hey, there you go. Okay, so go ahead. Do your game.
All right. Well, you know this because I've done you before as a cross between while we're in the fishing boat. But I think, man, you are just right there between John Belushi and Pee Wee Herman. You work those guys together and boom, Bryant.
Yeah.
Look at that. Coates did some research today because he found this photo of those two guys together of all things.
That was good. I mean, we just say it, and Coates has these images that he pops right up there, so that's pretty good. I've always, we always obviously go back and forth with each other, but for you, I mean, I would always say, Lurch, but nobody really knows who Lurch is anymore, right? I mean, we can't use Lurch anymore, can we? Dolph Lundgren, Dolph Lundgren from the Rocky movies. I mean, these kids don't know who this is, right? But I would say either Lurch or Dolph Lundgren and Gumby is probably the cross between those two people.
That's pretty accurate. I thought you were going to give me somebody goofy or something. So I'm glad you gave me some real human beings there. That's great.
Well, let's. Why don't you show me your skills? Why don't you do a cross between for Brew Baker? Everybody knows him.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. He's got some movie star in him. I say, just kind of that round face, maybe a little Kiefer Sutherland, but man, that shiny bald head and that great physique. I'd say probably he's a cross between Kiefer Sutherland and Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean, there it is. Yeah, I mean, he usually wears a hat not because he likes it, just to reduce the glare. I think is what the main reason he wears a hat. But he keeps it nice and polished. It's really nice.
Yes, he does. He must polish it. I mean, or he shaves between classes or something up there. I mean, always shine.
I tell you what, he helped me out the other night with Johnny being gone on RSN, and wow, what a great time we had. And I tell you what, he's got the bug. He's got the bug. He's going to be hard to keep him off the broadcast now.
Yep, he's got some energy, so he'll keep you afloat there, Bryant.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Good stuff.
And he makes great cookies, great breakfast. You can go ice fishing out his yard.
And this is great too. The guy can cook. He's Mr. Clean. And when I was living over there in Boyne, the last couple months before we moved downstate, the guy did my laundry too. That stuff came back folded beautifully. Man, it was fantastic.
This video, how did you guys get a hold of this video? I did not submit this. This is out my backyard. That's my
new
backyard. That is a black bear right outside, just robbing me of all my bird seed there.
I told you to stop throwing those beats across South America.
You can't hear the audio, but I'm filming this, and the boys, everybody's up against the glass window right there, the slider, and I'm saying to the boys right now, hey, you guys want to camp out tonight? You guys want to pitch a tent, camp out tonight? No. Yeah, that was about 5 feet from the house. So no more suet at our house. Well, the game, I'm sorry, there's a game going on here, Fritz.
Forgot about that.
Basketball game. Boyne clearly pulling away 41-20 towards the end of the third quarter here, and Boyne City just too much. Even depleted, they look like they're too much they're harder to handle.
Yeah, we talked about this before. It's a process, man. Building a team, right? Getting those players' skills where you want them, and teaching them the sets you want, the defenses you want, the philosophies you want. So this doesn't, we kind of had an inkling this might happen, but that's what high school basketball is all about. Chance to improve, chance to show what you got. So we'll see what comes back with later this year.
We got a tweet in here from Devin Hayden who's liking the new style. He's a kid that he'd be a great guest to come
What's up, Devin?
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
I haven't seen him in a while. Last time I saw him, his hair is growing pretty long. He's going through that college, experiment with your hair and stuff. You grow beards and goatees and long hair and all that stuff. So it's a good time to be alive, isn't it?
Yeah, good stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, college.
Yeah, I had a good mullet.
I think it was fun.
Well, we have end of the third quarter here. We have our next guest coming on, Drew Kohaney. This is going to be fun. I mean, we're getting all the big wigs of sports reporting here in the North to come on RSN. We got some clout here, don't we? How the heck did we get this gig, Fritz?
I don't know. I don't ask those questions though either.
Well, we already have Harris and Beebe gunning for our job now, and obviously showed that he could easily take it with his skills. All we need now is for Drew Kohaney to come on, and I think you and I are both out of a job.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I've been waiting for that to happen since we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to talk to him. Is Drew in there right now?
I believe he's coming in here pretty quick.
All
Before
right.
we get to that, let's take a look. I mean, you're a legendary eater, and I just got this picture from one of our fishing trips. We stopped and we were just going to get a sandwich. And remember, we ordered the full sandwich or the half sandwich or whatever, kind of like we thought it was Subway, is 6-inch or a foot long, and you obviously opted to get the big one, and it came out like this, and it was just a monster of a plate. And you downed that with no problem, and I think you ate part of mine as well. So.
Well, that was after a day probably at Fletcher's. It looks like we're in Lewiston or something on the way back.
I think that was Atlanta. It might be Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah. That was a great sandwich. I'd drive back there for that, for sure. I don't know if I'd take you with me with all your camera and everything.
Well, we're starting the fourth quarter here. We're going to welcome Drew Mahaney to the broadcast here. Drew, welcome.
Thanks, guys.
How you doing, Drew?
Good. How are you?
Good to have you. We're great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, we've been trying to get you on the air for many times, and most of the time when we're doing a broadcast, we're standing in the gym, and you're usually planted right over my left shoulder. You're right there. And half the time I think we're listening to each other, and I'm trying to look off your notepad and see what you're writing and stuff. And there's been a few times I've offered, give you the signal, come on, get on the air, and you turn me down very, very quickly. How come you always turn me down?
It's funny. I actually went into broadcasting in college, and that's where I discovered that I'm better behind the keyboard. So.
Well, hey, now that you're on here, next time I ask, we have an extra headset there. We're there live. I feel like, you need to at least give me a couple minutes on air.
I actually get lost. I'm watching the monitor when I'm standing there. I forget to watch the game right in front of me.
Yeah, we do that sometimes too. The kids do such a good job of covering all the angles that it's a lot easier to watch it on the monitor than it is to watch it live. But so we were there. I'm going to just talk about this before we get into your background. But that last game against Grayling, again, you were standing over my left shoulder, and we were asking Harrison Beebe about how when you come to a game, how do you paint the picture? How do you quickly recap if you're only there for a quarter or something like that? What's going on? I don't know if you were there for the whole game, but man, you wrote a great article about that Jack Neer's acrobatic shots, and they happened right back to back, and that was the story that you chose, and I thought that was a great way to spin that article. But I mean, you and I and everybody else in the gym were just amazed at those shots.
They were unbelievable. I mean, when I saw those two, I knew that, and I mean, not to mention that he had the half-court heave at the end of the first quarter too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he had one of those layups in the first or or second quarters. I was standing at the other end at that point. So yeah, he's got the talent. It's just unbelievable to see it all come together. And when he did those back to back at the end of the game, there, I mean, the Rambler student section went nuts. The whole gym really went nuts, and it was just really cool. So I really felt like that was kind of something to highlight and kind of have Jack be in the spotlight there.
Yeah, well done, and me and I'm sure Aaron as well. Always been a big fan of your work up here, telling great stories about Northern Michigan sports. Just a big fan, and you do such a great job. And then, can you tell us, you've seen this RSN, and we did the same thing with Harrison. What was your first impression of RSN and watching it over the years? Just kind of give us what you think of RSN, kind of in a nutshell.
I was blown away. I mean, like Harrison said, I mean, this was the stuff that we were doing in college. And these high school kids are getting a 3-4 year jump on everything that we do. The technology is great. I mean, everything that they learn through the Rambler Sports Network is what, kids are normally learning their first, second, third year of college. So, I mean, just the amount of experience that they're gaining through this is, you can't even put a finger on it. It's unbelievable. So that was my first, takeaway. And then the fact that it just keeps on growing, the fact that we're doing this is awesome. I mean, the ideas, the innovation of everything that goes on is it just blows you away.
Yeah, it keeps it fun for the kids. You know, they don't get stale. They're trying new stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Randy's the same way. You know, I can't wait to see what he's going to do in the next couple of years, because you know, if this is the new thing, then where's he going to take it next? I mean, we did a studio show, you know, in the Rambler room right there. We did a studio show like Sports Center for a few years, and then phased into the live game stuff, and now this kind of stuff, and it's just very exciting to be a part of all of it. So
the commercials might be my favorite part. I love those things when I'm at the game and they're playing, you know, at halftime or in between. Those are my favorite to watch, because the kids are just so funny. They just nail them. Yeah. How many takes does it usually take? They hit them pretty quick, or?
Well, yeah, they for the kids, you know, I mean, he'll usually block out. He'll get the kids for like an hour. Right?
Okay.
Tell all the other teachers, you know, I need these kids for this hour, and we can usually get through it in 1 hour. I mean, they're really short clips, but
they're fantastic.
Yeah, so we get through them pretty quick, and usually when Aaron or I'm on one of the commercials, we usually you know take a few dives a few times to get the kids laughing and screwing around a little bit to loosen them up. But the kids are great. I mean, they do a great job. Most of the kids, it's their ideas for these commercials. And so, yeah, it's amazing. Like you've heard us talking, all the adults that are working and doing the broadcast stuff, we got the easiest job. The kid doing all the work.
Yeah, that cross country one where he gets the file and runs it. That one, I don't know who came up with that, but all the shots that had to go into it too.
Yeah, that was a great commercial.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's going around now, and I think we're about due, is we need some new commercials. We need some new life, some new kids coming through. A lot of these kids that you're seeing in these commercials are graduated and gone, and but I think that's been one of the rumblings I've heard is we need to, you know, go to the new well of commercials and make some new ones. So
I'm sure they'd be up for it.
Oh yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about what you're covering right now, and any major stories that you got going up here in Northern Michigan sports.
Just a heck of a lot of basketball. You know, it still actually feels like we're kind of just getting started. I mean, Boyne hasn't been hit by it too much, but you know, some teams, they've had 2, 3, maybe even 4 games already moved. So. It really still feels really early in the season. But, man, I mean, just every night you got Lake Michigan, something's going on. Northern Lakes, Big North. I mean, there's no lack of basketball going on every single night up here. And, man, when you look at, the polls just recently came out, the AP polls for the state, and you look at how many Lake Michigan Conference teams are in it. It's unbelievable how good this conference is.
Yeah, you don't realize it. You don't realize it when you're playing in it. You know, it's a respectable conference.
St. Francis was the only one that came away with a ranking for the boys' side, but then you got Elk Rapids, Charlevoix, Boyne City, all picking up honorable mention. That Grayling team, I think, is a lot better than they showed the other night against Boyne. They had a heck of some athletes.
I agree. They only lost to St. Francis by 10 or 12, I believe. And, well, from what I saw, that's a big physical team. I was impressed.
Yeah, and then you got East Jordan. How many teams can put out a 6'9" player out there?
Yeah.
on a regular basis, and just their whole lineup's big. Kind of like St. Francis. I saw St. Francis against I think it was Charlevoix, and man, that is like a college-sized lineup they got.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one for Boyne City too.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I can't wait to see Calcaterra's game plan against them. Because they're a big, solid, well-coached team, and he's going to have to really draw up a good plan to stay with those guys. I can't wait to see that game.
Yeah, I think Scotty might be getting a little bit more playing time that night.
Yeah, I think so. They're going to need a body in there like that.
You mentioned that you call Scotty the house. That kid's the whole farm.
Yeah, he is, and I love it because I don't think he realizes he's that big. The way he throws his body around, he's knocking people over, and he kind of looks like, what I do? I'm like, yeah, your shoulders are like 4 people wide, so you got to understand that.
Yeah, I wish he would have started playing football a little earlier because man, he had a heck of a season this year, and I think he'd only been playing a couple years or something.
Yeah, it was his first year out. So
that was his first. Okay, yeah.
Coach Tuttle would like to have him for 3 more years as well, but it was good. It was good. It helped him in basketball, I believe, to get that solid base in football. So there's a good look at his shot right there.
Yeah.
Well, so give us a little bit about your background. You where did you grow up?
Originally from Midland. Born in Petoskey. I always had family here and lived in Midland for most of my life.
Where did you go to high school?
I was a chemic, Midland High.
Okay.
Yep.
So when I was in high school, I went to Bay City, John Glenn.
Oh, okay. That's where that's actually where my dad went and all that family.
Yeah, knew a lot of the Kohanis there. That's a Bay City name. And we ended up going undefeated and lost to Midland in the first round of the playoffs. So every time, I heard you're from Midland, and I'm just kind of, I was hoping you weren't a chemic, but it's okay. Yeah. I think the wounds have healed over the years, but still kind of a bad spot for a chemic. But
yeah, so I went there and then went up to Northern after graduation. Did some years there and then moved down here after graduating there. So.
That's awesome. Well, you finally found the right spot here. This is a beautiful place up here, and I'm glad that you found this spot.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Drew, seems like the last few years, a lot of newspapers, their staffs are shrinking and shrinking. Has that affected you quite a bit?
Yeah, it really has. When I first started, I'm entering year 10 now around here. And when I first started, we had 3 of us in the sports staff and then another guy that just helped out. So now we're down to just me doing 2 counties, helping out with a couple others. And then, all the teams we got. So I'm running around quite a bit, but I still try to, deliver what I can. I don't get out to everybody as much as I want to. I might only see a team, 2 times a year or a season, and then try to hit them more in districts and whatnot. But that's just the way it is now, and you guys kind of got to roll with it.
Yeah, well, we got less than a minute here to go. You're doing fantastic, Drew. And what I see is that next time I offer you a headset, I think you got to take it. So we were talking with Harrison about he always looks like he's got more to say on his little 7-4 news blip there. And with you, I mean, you're a sports writer. I mean, if you were to write a book, right? Isn't this your dream here to write a book?
Yeah.
If you were to write a book, what would the topic be?
Oh man, it wouldn't be a popular one around here or the state of Michigan, but I'm a University of Miami football nut.
Really?
I don't know if you can see behind me, but I got a bunch of Cane stuff. I could write a book right now about Cane's football history. So
you much like me, I watched that 30 for 30 on the U.
Oh yeah,
I love that. I love the 2-parter, and as soon as you said that, I thought of that. It's a very cool documentary. So
the one thing that me and a lot of Michigan fans do have in common is our hatred of Ohio State, though. So
that's good.
They stole a national championship from us.
Yes, I agree with that. So, even when you're cheering for the Big Ten in that national championship, it did get stolen. So. Well, we're wrapping up here, and we got to give a shout-out to Ben Harmeling for going the whole night here with no glitches. I didn't see any glitches. Rich, did you see any glitches tonight?
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
I didn't feel any. I didn't see any from my house. I didn't. No problems here on my end. It was fantastic. So.
The wakeboarding was great. The.
Yeah, we had plenty of props that they were throwing in front of us. So it was what a great night. There's a sophomore. Is he a freshman? Is that Spade?
Yeah, he just closed the game with it.
Yeah, nice. Everybody's getting a bunch of playing time tonight. So there's the end of the game. Boyne City rolls 53-35, and we would like to thank Drew Blaney for joining us here tonight for one of many times that you're going to be joining us on RSN. Right? I'm putting that plug in. I mean, you're always right there. Let's just get a headset on once in a while. We can have some fun. So
yeah, I'll throw it on next time.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and
appreciate it, Drew.
We appreciate it. We're always looking for your stuff.
I appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, take a look at our credits right here. Obviously directed by Randy Calcaterra, Roger Coates, Ben Harmeling.
How did you get assistant producer?
He should have his name down, all of it right there, shouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, it says talent next to our name.
Hey, how come you got your middle initial in your name for talent?
Fancy. You got your name under there under assistant producer. That's pretty special.
You get your SAG card yet? What? How come? Why are you getting a middle initial? Is there another Aaron Fritzsche in the SAG or something? My goodness. Well, that was a wonderful experiment, and it turned out okay. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Tune in to our next broadcast. Will be January 25th. Girls basketball versus Charlevoix. That's going to be a good one. But thanks for the experimental broadcast here tonight, and make sure you let everybody know, all those students, that they did a fantastic job, especially Ben Harmeling. For all of us here, Drew Kohaney, Aaron Fritzsche, Roger Coates, Randy Calcaterra, thanks for watching.